is nothing new. Even though I heard about it, saw it, read about it, learned about up until then, I had never ever actually seen any people a part of the Klan identify as being so. Now there are people around who are part of it. It's very evident because the organization is still around, but never saw any identify themselves as such. And that day, what they were doing by having that meeting in their costumes is they were identifying themselves as such. So in the costumes. Now I don't know if they do this like publicly, like out loud without the costumes, letting people know they're part of the KKK. But yeah, that was my first time seeing it then. But to know it wasn't something that just happened that day. They all didn't just join the KKK that day. This is something that has been going on for years. And again, it's starting with the hatred in people's heart, no matter what the group is that they are a part of. And that particular day didn't mean after they had the meeting again, like when they take the costumes off, the hate doesn't come off with the costume. Okay. So again, the things that they do when I mention it, and I thought to myself, this is a teacher, the librarian, the police officer, whoever is dealing with people, how are their ideas of how they feel and that hatred influencing how they are interacting with the others in their community and the things that they are doing. And it's something that I think even not just the newer parts of Generation Z, but everybody in our society. Sometimes because we don't see something is not right before us all the time, we have a tendency to forget about it, and maybe not think that it's there. It's not like a part of us unless it's just brought before us. But to let people know that these things that we're seeing, these events that we're seeing of recent, is not that they haven't been going on. It's not that even maybe the day before, the same day, others have been abused by police officers or killed. We're seeing George Floyd. We're seeing Breonna Taylor. We're seeing Eric Garner. We're seeing Ahmaud Arbery. We're seeing Sandra Bland. We're seeing Trayvon Martin. We're seeing Freddie Gray. We're seeing. And also within that, we can also see ourselves and the experiences that we've had or others that we know. For those of us who have experienced racism. And again, it's not just the USA. Believe me, it's not just the USA that has this issue. Um, but for you to know, just because we don't see it, because we're seeing, but just because we don't see it, because it's not out there, because it's not right in front of our faces, does not negate the fact that it is going on. So for us to be cognizant of that, and a lot of times, and it's not that it's necessarily happening more, because some people may think because you see it, oh, it's happening more, or it's like something new, or it's just coming back or anything. No, that does not mean that. Before I saw them at their meeting, guess what? They probably have been members for years. So that means that, oh no, it's on the rise now. Because in order for them to be members that day, that meant for all those years before, they had to have the organization has still been going on. But I didn't see that. So when it comes to the things that we are seeing today, we're hearing about it because we're getting it. They're putting things on the news and certain things that they're selecting, but there are lots more that are going on that we do not see. Lots more, and even more so now that we have social media, where just ordinary citizens, just like me, just like you, are able to capture things in video, or pictures like this. We're seeing it more. We're seeing it more. It doesn't necessarily mean that all of a sudden it's just started happening, but because it's being put out there more. Just think about all the years where we didn't have those cameras and the internet and social media, those things, and even before TV, how it was going on. Because believe me, it wasn't just not happening because we didn't see it. So to know that these are just a few of the victims that we are learning about, that we are seeing, but there's so many more that we're not seeing, that are not being put in front of us. And for us to understand, because a lot of people may see and say, well, oh, that's one, that's two, that's here. No, there are many that are there. There's much of this is going on, and going back to, again, these type of organizations, how people feel, it all has to do with hatred. If you can understand, like I told you, just because they take the costumes off doesn't mean that the hate comes off with the costume. Those are the teachers, the judges, police officers, the doctors, okay? Those are the people, that are within our society with this hate in them, and it may influence what they do, and they may act it out. Some, again, covertly, which means hidden, and the others overtly. They put it on out there. This is what I'm doing. And so I hope that maybe this will help someone who may not understand, because there are people who've never experienced this.